Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Relax, Hella. I know it's like, I know what she's trying to do. I'm not sure. What? Probably not the best area to get yourself into. No. Can you get out? Go this way. Go help. Alright. Today is still December 4th. It is Saturday, 2021. I hope everybody's doing well. This dog is a nut. She is absolutely... There she goes. Oh, and she's knocking everything over now. Alright. Well, just relax. Everybody relax. Everybody relax. Alright. I want to talk about, in this video... We're talking about excuses. I wanted to bring this up because I think this is important. I'll bring up different subjects. I'll talk about different things. I'll talk about prepping, what you should be doing as far as prepping goes. And then I hear all the excuses of why I can't do this and I can't do that. Everybody has an excuse. So you justify in your own mind, we all do it, you justify why you're not successful with whatever you're trying to do. There's always the blame game. Well, my life would have been better if, this had been different or that had been different. And I'm not a big believer in excuses. We grew up very, very poor growing up. We didn't have a whole lot. But I realized at an early age, one of the things I definitely realized, if I wanted something, I had to get out and work for it. And when I worked for something, and I purchased it, and then I had something, it was mine, and it was a pride in that. And so, that motivated me for, obviously most of my life here, to be as, and I'm not super successful. I'm not like, some multi-millionaire or anything like that, and never really aspired to be. That was not what I was ever looking to be. But to accomplish what I've wanted to accomplish, number one, I've had a determination, and I think that's a big part of it, but I don't make excuses. And I think that's another big part of it. You have so many people that will come up with excuses of why they can't do this or why they can't do that, why they're not successful, why, what held them back in life. It's always somebody else's fault, never their own. No personal responsibility. Their drug addiction is somebody else's fault. Their alcoholism is somebody else's fault. They're not getting on in life. There's always an excuse. So, and we all, like I said, we all do it to a degree. It just really depends on, how much you want something. But I have noticed in life, people that are successful at life, that get ahead, that work hard and put the effort in and don't make excuses, those are the people that get ahead. Those are the people that get something accomplished. They get something done. It's amazing to me how just that mindset, and it's what it comes down to. It's always a mindset. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. When I first moved out here to the property, and it was myself and the twins. The twins were 13 years old at the time. And we started out in a 37-foot camper. And I knew squat. I had no background of living off grid. None of that type of stuff. And then the day before we moved, I found out I had cancer. So I could have very easily used that as an excuse to change my plans. I could have said, well, I got this situation here now, so now things got to change. And the only thing that really changed was how we were going to go about stuff. Because what the original plan was, I was going to build around the camper and make it a bigger area for us and those type of things. But then, realizing that I was going to have a major surgery and was going to be laid up for a while, it changed that perspective of what we were doing. And so then we ended up ordering the building that we live in now. And I'll never forget it because it was going to be 6 weeks before we got the building. So the building wasn't even going to get in here until I think it was October, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and look, but it was pretty nerve-wracking at the time, pretty nerve-wracking, and dealing with that situation was not fun. But I wasn't going to give up. I wasn't going to quit. I wasn't going to make excuses, and that's the other thing that people do that are not successful. They quit. They give up. And, so when I had so many people telling me what I was not going to be able to do, I can remember at the time saying, watch me. Because I didn't have, in my mind, I didn't have a choice. I was going to be successful at it. We were going to get it done. And so when we first, we got the house wired up and we got the insulation in here, and then by the time we got the wood stove finally in, it was the beginning of November of that year. And we were actually sleeping. I'll never forget. We had our sheets and everything laid out here on the floor, and we slept in front of the fireplace because it was now too cold to sleep in the camper. It was just, the camper was not designed for winter in New York. I'll put it like that. And so, we had gotten to that point we just couldn't sleep in that camper no more. So, we were sleeping in here on the floor as we continued to work on things and stuff like that. But those are things that make you stronger. Those are things that draw you closer together. And you can look back on those things and say, you know what, that was a rough time, but we got through it and we did okay. And, I can remember people saying, oh, well, you better, go get an apartment and do that, especially having to have the surgery and stuff. And there was just no way. I was not doing that. I was not going to get myself in that type of a situation, And so we did what we did, and it obviously, in hindsight, it worked out very, very well. But a lot of that happened to be determination and not making excuses. Again, we have way too many people making excuses of why they can't do this and why they can't do that and why they, won't even make an effort to do anything to help themselves, or they'll say, oh, well, who would want to live in a post-world like that anyway? Well, you'd be surprised. The natural thing in our DNA is to try to survive. So to me, the way I look at things is, all right, well, whatever's going to happen, I want to survive whatever's going to happen. And I want to do that in the most comfort that I possibly can. So if I plan ahead and am proactive with that endeavor, it's going to make my situation better when that time comes. I'll tell you something that I look back on, and I reflect on this a lot. And this is one of the things that you need to do too, is you need to reflect and look at where you came from, where you were, where you're at now, and where you want to be. So you look at, okay, we got a lot of this is done. This is great. We're in way better shape than we were. But where do I want to be, and what are my goals and stuff like that? But I remember looking back when we first moved up here, and we spent our first night up here in the camper, and I'll never forget, and I remember thinking this, I said, if SHTF happens tomorrow, at least all of our stuff is here. And looking back now, obviously reflecting, looking back, of how unprepared we were at that moment, but I was looking at the positive and the negative and thinking, okay, but at least all of our stuff is here. I don't have to worry about that part of it anymore. And, reflecting, also looking back to where we have come from and what we've gotten accomplished here. From that first year of living here to now, it's completely night and day. Completely night and day. And, being able to look at that and say, wow, we've really come a long way. And I'm in obviously much, much better shape as far as preparedness-wise goes in those type of things in an SHTF event. Am I where I want to be? No, I never will be. Honestly, I'll never be where I want to be fully. But I am definitely more prepared than most people, and I look at that as an advantage. But it's because of a determination, a stubbornness, and not making excuses. Life throws you curveballs. Things happen. Things sometimes are not always great. When my ex-wife left, It was kind of devastating at the time, you know, but it happens, and you have to adjust. Your plans can change. You have to. The biggest thing I would say to people when it comes to trying to be positive, stay positive, trying to get things done, is learning how to roll with the punches. Because things are going to come up. Mistakes are going to happen. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fry equipment. You're going to screw things up. You're going to mess things up. Own it. Realize that you screwed up. Take responsibility for your actions. And move on. And make it better the next time. And I think that that's an important aspect of having this mindset and doing what, living off grid and prepping and try to be as sustainable as I possibly can be with growing, my food and having, the chickens and eggs and those type of things. Really important. I think it's really, really important. So, I definitely want to hear your guys' feedback on this. I'm not trying to make this video about a me, rah, 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 me video. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to show you is an average dude that, with no skills realistically. I was a nurse. I'm still a nurse. Always have been a nurse. I have a lot more skills now than I did 7 years ago. I can tell you that. I've learned a lot. And I'm going to take that knowledge with me when I go to West Virginia, and I'm going to implement that into my new property because I know exactly what I want to do now. So it makes a big, big difference. It's definitely beneficial. But with that, I'm showing you that an average person can do this. If I can do this, anybody can do this. With kids, without kids, regardless of what your age is. We're starting over in West Virginia, and I said, I wanted to do it when I was still young. And people are like, you're 56 years old. Yeah, well, so what? It's a number, okay? It's mindset. It's mindset. And I'm going to get done what I want to do down there, and it'll happen, and we'll go from there. And that's the simple fact of it. No excuses, And as long as you make that forward progress, as long as you're making forward progress, every time you're going out there putting that effort in, and you're seeing that light at the end of the tunnel for whatever that immediate goal is. Set the goal, and then set about to making it happen. And don't make excuses. Don't make excuses. Things come up, I get it. It happens. But that's not an excuse not to be successful. It's not. So, I definitely want to hear your feedback on this topic. Okay? So, I think it's an important topic. And, I like to use myself as an example with a lot of things because I've had the experience. I've had the life experience. I've seen the different things. I've done a lot of, it's not like I'm just talking the talk. I've walked the walk. We've been living off grid now for 7 years. And, it has been quite the experience. And, you learn a lot. And your skills get better. And it helps you in future events, and it puts you in a better position to be able to handle things, not panic in those type of things. I gotta mention something. I had talked about, and this just goes, and I'm just gonna it goes to the mindset of people. All right. So I was talking about in a worst case scenario, end of the world as we know it. Right. That's what the topic that I was talking about in that situation. And I said there's a solar farm, not that many miles away, probably, 6-7 miles from where, I'm at my current location. And I said in the video, that I know that in an SHTF situation, I said, we would come over here and we would be harvesting these solar panels, right? And I had somebody come in the comments and be like, well, that would be stealing. Let me reiterate. Okay, end of the world as we know it, never going to be the same ever again, never going to go back to normal. That's not stealing. That's commandeering, harvesting, helping your family, your group out. That's what that is. And you want to do it before somebody else decides to get the bright idea to do it. Oh, now the fire's jacking. I had just fed the fire before I started this video. And I said, well, it'll take off. And there we are. So, But anyway, guys, I definitely want to hear your feedback on this topic. I think it's important not to make excuses. There's so many people that make so many excuses. Okay, so here's another great example. Everybody knows who Seth Rogen is, right? Comedian, actor. And he just did some animated piece of crap that did not do well. Well, whose fault is it that it didn't do well? Well, according to Seth Rogen, it's thousands of white supremacists. That's why that movie did not, or this animation cartoon did not do well. Really? Maybe, Seth, if you looked at it and did an evaluation, maybe it was a piece of crap. Maybe that might have been what it did. Maybe it was poor decision making on your part and the other actors that did that thing. It happens. But there was blame. We blame game. We blame. It's always somebody else's fault. No personal responsibility. Always blame somebody else. What I'm going to encourage you guys to do is take personal responsibility. Realize whose fault it is for whatever you've gone through in life. You can't change. Now let me put it like this, okay? And so that you understand what my point that I'm trying to make. If you're abused as a child, okay, physically, sexually, whatever the case may be, you had no control over that, none. So that can't be blamed on you. That's not your fault. But what you do as a result of that in life is 100% on you. So if you spend the rest of your life feeling sorry for yourself because, stepdaddy batted you around a little bit, or a lot of it, whatever the case may be, and use that as an excuse of why you're not successful, that's bullcrap, okay? Or if you go on and you abuse your children, you beat the crap out of your children, why would you do something to somebody which you already know how it feels to have done to you? I don't buy that either, okay? So certain circumstances we can't change, but when you get to a certain point in your life, every decision that you make is 100% on you. Now, if you want to stay in abusive relationships with people that are going to abuse you, that's your choice. That is your choice. If you want to be miserable all the time, then that's your choice. So, stop making excuses. Well, I would have and I could have and I should have. No, it's crap, okay? Change your circumstances. If you are unhappy in your circumstances, change your circumstances. It's as simple as that. It really, really is. Now, will that be hard? Will it suck? Will you have to maybe be in a situation that you don't want to be in for a while? Yep, sure, okay? But if the ultimate thing at the end of the day, at the end of that window, is to make your life better, make your children's lives better, that's what you should be looking at. That's what the focus should be on. All right, so that's kind of my rant. Like I said, I do want to hear you guys' feedback on that. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Also, really quickly, on my website, preppernurse1.com, we are still doing the Legacy Freeze-Dried Food Sale right now. That will be continuing until the 12th of December. If you go to preppernurse1.com, you will click on Store. It will drop down. You'll see Legacy Foods. You click on that. It will take you to the store within the website. Once you are there, if you decide to make a purchase, when you check out, 20% will come off your purchase automatically when you check out. 25-year shelf life, GMO free, gluten options available for people that need that. It is also vegetarian, but there are beef and chicken options that can be purchased separately. It is also the largest portion size of any of the other freeze-dried food companies, so definitely take advantage of that. All right, like I said, that sale is going to be going until the 12th of December. All right. Also, we have the Forefathers, which is the CBD and hemp store. Definitely take advantage of that as well. It is, if you go to my website, preppernurse1.com, you'll see the Forefathers. You click on that, it will take you to their website. Once you're on their website, if you decide to make a purchase over there, make sure when you check out, if you're buying a CBD or hemp purchase, that you use the discount code PrepperNurse1, and that's the number 1, not O-N-E, and you'll save 15% on your purchase over there. Last thing I want to talk about is the Prepper Nurse 1 community that we have on my website. It's free to join. You do have to register. It is set up and designed for you guys to connect with like-minded people, so definitely take advantage of that. Read the message boards, connect with people in your state or in your country. That's what it's there for. All right? So, anyway, I am going to jump off of here for now. I definitely want to hear your feedback on this topic. I think that it's important. And the best part is there will be certain people in the comments that will make excuses of why they're not successful. And those are the people that will never do anything. And they'll never accomplish anything because they feel sorry for themselves. They are the ultimate victims, and that's what happens. And I'm just saying, choose not to be a victim. Choose to be proactive. Choose to be the person that says, despite of my circumstances, despite of my upbringing, despite of where I came from, I am going to be successful. And if you have that mindset, you will be amazed of how that works. Okay? So, anyway, guys, remember, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race, and I think that's hugely important. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person, back to the theme of what we've been talking about here, the only person in life that can hold you back is you. That's it. Nobody else can stop you from achieving your goals. Set your goals and then set about to making them happen. It's as simple as that. Stop making excuses. Okay? Alright, guys. I will see you all later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.